Welcome to my honest impressions about Pax Dei. Now, I was invited to the recent alpha, and I've managed to rack up around 60 hours this week. I'm going to talk to you in this video about what's currently in the game, what I like, what I dislike, and what's coming to the game in the future. Ooh, oh, my stomach's gone. Oh, shit.
It's the game that many of us have been practicing throughout our professional careers to make.
Whoa, whoa, there he goes, boy! He's fucking doing it! He's done it! Is he alive? Is he alive? He's alive! He's alive! He's alive!
And that's why everyone on the team is leading this game, because this is the game that we've been wanting to play for a very long time.
Look at everyone charging up the hill. That's so cool. Mate, that looks amazing. Look at everybody, dude.
Yeah, I mean, we've been talking about this project for 20 years almost.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Zerging them. Yo, Pax Dei on top. Absolute chaos.
We feel we're creating a common dream here, which is bigger than our own.
Five, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. I hope you enjoyed the intro. So welcome to my first impressions. Now I'm just going to kind of free roll this a little bit and run you through the game while playing the game, and hopefully give you as much information as possible. Now they've dubbed this a social sandbox MMO. It's always a bit of a tongue twister. The idea is that this game is has a fully player driven economy. There's not really NPCs as you would find in like an RPG MMO, and everything's really kind of driven by the player. Now, off the bat, to me, that's a little bit like, this is going to cause trouble, and I'm very excited to see how they develop this and how, players develop the gameplay. What we're going to go through really at the start is the map size, the plot system, some skills, some crafting, some spells, how the devs have been during the update, and then just some generic feedback from my side on what I think could make this game pretty good. So we'll start off with the map size. The map itself there's 4 maps currently in the game, and they are 70 kilometers squared. So as you can see here, I'm sort of located in the top of the map. This is where some of the crew are. These red dots here, I don't actually know their particular name. We're just calling them safe zones, or the home valleys, I think. There are 4 maps of this size. To give you some sort of perspective, we yesterday went on a little bit of an expedition. We went from here in the north down to here, which is a gateway into the next map. It took us 2 hours to get from A to B. Now there was a couple of disconnects and a few people drowning, and maybe one cave we entered, but it was a long trek. Now what happens is that you connect into the next map. So if you can imagine a grid of 4, we go into one, you can then go up into the other, across, and come back down again. So there's 4 maps currently, totaling to around 300 square kilometers. The map is bloody massive. Now there definitely is a little bit of copy paste here, but the content within this is something they can improve. Now you're probably wondering why I'm standing up here on a cliff. Now this is to talk to you about the plot system. Now I joined this game with my clan, Pirate Gaming, and we've managed to put together a little bit of a village. Now this is kind of the latest creation, a little bit of a longhouse. Looks like it was looking like a Noah's Ark at the start, but it's kind of a Viking longhouse. So you can see just to the right of that we have a crafting circle, kind of like a town hall-y kind of center place, and then on the right we've obviously got the castle there. Now if I open this up, this will give you a little bit of an idea about the plot system. Now this is a very, very interesting system, something I haven't used before. Now the TLDR on this is your plot will start off something like that circular plot just above my helmet there, And a great example is if you marry that up with someone else, like a friend's plot, it won't be a circle anymore. The size will increase and it'll become more of a let's say a rectangle. You can see here the size difference. So if you team up with someone, your plot gets slightly bigger. Now you can see in the distance there as well, we have a little village of some friendly neighbors, and again slightly higher up. But this is our groups here. We've sort of found this little place on the mountain, really cool. This is what we're calling home. So that's how the plot system works. Now at the moment there is no clan size. As far as I'm aware, it's completely unlimited. And one of our boys has actually built it's actually a pirate ship, but he's built a really cool place up on the hill, which gives us actually a really lovely overview on what we've managed to build within these 4 days. From recording this, it's been about 4.5 days. So you can see here all the kind of different shapes and sizes, and I will do another video sort of doing a full tour of the inside of all of these, sort of slightly nearer the end of the alpha. But this gives you a very quick idea on what's possible. So you've got a tower on the top, you've got a sort of a Viking longhouse, for example. Someone's working on some stairs. There's a gatehouse, there's another gatehouse, there's a castle, there's even we've sort of got a dock keep. One of the boys is building a tavern, there's a tower, and then you've sort of got, like, you know, your villages on the back there. And horses. My friend has built a pirate ship house up here, very fitting to our name. But yeah, the plot system's pretty good. It definitely needs work, but the plot system's very good, and it's something, yeah, like I had to say, I haven't used it before, but it's working pretty damn well so far. Onto the skills. Now, in true quality YouTube fashion, I got kind of lazy, and I've put them here for you. So there's 2 types of skills. We have one crafting set of skills and one combat set of skills. Now these sort of naturally level up sort of as we go. Let me just zoom into the crafting skills slightly here. These are what we can get. So alchemy, building, leatherworking, cooking, tailoring, blacksmithing, fletching, jewel crafting, baking, as I would probably say in English, charcuterie, I believe it's called charcuterie, something like that. Mining, tanning, and wood cutting. Now what's quite interesting is a lot of these sort of aren't in the game yet, so I haven't seen how to do charcuterie, which is kind of like being a butcher. Meats is all sort of revolving around meats. Bacon, obviously bacon, and then cooking. So there's 3 types of food elements to the game, and I think food's going to be quite a big part of it. Building we've done, tailoring we've done, leatherworking I haven't looked into yet. It does take time. Skilling in this game does genuinely take time, and that's not a bad thing. I think this is a good thing. But I'll go and show you in a minute a little bit of the mining, a little bit of wood cutting. But just before we do that, the combat skills. Now, as you know, there isn't really combat in the game yet, but these are the skills that we're going to be able to sort of dive into as we sort of get more into the game. Now my sprint says 25. I think I've been scammed, because I've definitely was higher than that, and I'm pretty sure some of these were higher. I feel like I've been scammed. Honestly, I've been zooming around the map. But yeah, that's a quick look into the skills. Let me drop off this this mountain, which I'm sure you guys are kind of interested to see. Let's do it. Please don't die. Whoo! Now I'm gonna go this way and see if we survive. Normally I swim across the other way, but as you know, New World fans, if you're watching this, you'll be surprised to know that there is swimming. Now a quick fast forward there. So these are the kind of stones you can mine. So to get started, you want to pick them up off the floor. You're going to get yourself a basic table, and then you need to get yourself a pick. Again, for you guys that have played New World, this is a very similar experience. What I do love is how the kind of rock breaks away in real time. That's something I haven't really witnessed before. Obviously when you're cutting down trees, the logging is very similar. When you're picking stuff off the floor, it's a little bit, I don't know, you make your own decision on that one. And I'll just show you the logging quickly. Now there's 2 types of axes that we seem to be able to use. There's sort of like a standard logging axe, and then there is like a weapon axe as well. So it's slightly different. It's a higher tier. Looks very similar, but it allows you to chop harder trees, more difficult trees. But yeah, the skills and the gathering within the game are pretty nice, to be honest. They feel good. They're not bad. Not really much to complain about here. Looks pretty cool. There's our castle, looking good. All right, let's go and talk about. Should we talk about the spells? So very briefly, a lot of you guys have been asking me what spells are in the game. Now, spells are completely attached to your gear, so try not to get this gear fear. That's like advice number one: do not get a gear fear in this game. That was the wrong key. If I do this here, we can now see there is a set of skills. This is in my bottom bar, and I'll split screen, so it's a little bit of pain. There are many skills in the game, and I haven't come across them all. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here. Now, number 1, I will show you. This is a divine heal. Now, I can use this on a single player. I have no friends currently. They're all working away on our base. But essentially, this is just a single target heal. Second, we have a taunt. Now, you start to see some pretty cool animations here. There was a rabbit. Now, it doesn't seem to be working, and I don't think rabbits do any damage, so this is probably a terrible example, but whatever. Here's the taunt skill. I think the idea behind taunt is that you can, you know, it's just a typical taunt. You pull the enemies off your allies, and then lol here, which again doesn't seem to do anything in the game yet. But what I'm assuming this is going to do is sort of put your foes to sleep. Now, I seem to only be able to do this obviously on animals, and it doesn't seem to do anything at the moment, so there's no point in showing you. But I believe at some point this is going to kind of put them to sleep or make them very relaxed, let's say. Now, the kind of coolest one that is in the game at the moment is this. Now, this is called Consecrated Ground. Now, again, very similar for us who've played New World. It's like a sacred ground, really. You pop this down and it heals people inside it. Now, the healing for me at the moment is pretty weak, but it does work. And the way these work is, again, they're sort of attached to your equipment. So you have to go into your equipment here. As you can see here, let me open up my equipment tab. Top right, you could, if I mouse over the equipment, top right, you can see the divine heal. Now, if I was to lose this piece of equipment and drop it on the floor, I will lose my divine heal from my character. So there is a here we go. We've got some plate gauntlets that do not have skills attached to it. So skills are attached to your gear. Obviously, at some point, you may die and you may lose your gear. Try not to get gear fear. Just lastly on the skills are attached to items in your inventory. So Blessing Incense is a healing for like my sacred ground, and then we have Holy Water, which is used for a single target heal, and there'll be different items to use for different skills. So that's pretty cool, and that's just a quick overview of the skills. Let's take a quick look into the crafting. Now, coming out of our warehouse, we've built ourselves a little crafting station here. Now, this is pretty complex. I am not good at crafting at the best of times, and this makes things pretty difficult for me. For example, as you play the game, as you level things up, you start to unlock recipes. So if you kill a particular mob, you may pick up a particular item, which unlocks a particular piece of chainmail or whatever it may be. Let me switch over again to the full screen here so it's easy for you guys to see. This is sort of the basics of the crafting. As we enter a crafting table, you will see a particular item, and then on the right, you'll see the ingredients. Now, we were looking at this earlier. Let's take tier 2 pickaxe, for example, a very simple item. To get the tier 2 pickaxe, we're going to need long, rough wood stock, and we're going to need iron bars. Now, what we need for iron bars is to smelt some iron that we've mined in the smelter, and we also need to smelt some wood or burn some wood in the charcoal kiln, which, if you don't know what they are, it's these over here. These are sort of slightly leveled up ones. And then once you've got that, you then need to head to the forge, and then you need to start to craft some of the components, right? So for this particular one, we needed the iron bar. As you can see here, there's other bits too, I'll show you in a second. But once you then have your iron bar, you can then come back and start to do your tier 2 pick. Relatively simple, right? Not bad. Once we then start to level up our you can see here, once we start to level up our crafting, we start to get more options. Let's go sort of right into the deep end. You know, as you can see here, what we need is steel nails, wooden pegs, the short wood stock. Those two are relatively simple. We need leather working, so we need the leather bands. We need the blade, axe, steel. So it's kind of, we're working towards steel at this point. And to get these items, to get these crafting components, I won't dive deep into it now, but it's a relatively time-consuming job. One of the guys has been working on it pretty much 4 days straight at this point, and he's really starting to get to the grips of things. But one thing that I think would make this process slightly more digestible by the majority of us is that if items would sort of take from boxes, so we have a big warehouse nearby within our land. If we wanted to craft these, I'm going to call it Excalibur, Zabula's arm plates, you know, if we have sulfur in our chests, maybe it would take from the chest rather than having to have it in your inventory. But again, this is something that I think you're going to find people really diving deep into and really becoming sort of tradesmen at this. So my suggestion might be terrible because, you know, again, you might want specific people that are very good at these specific jobs. So, you know, an armor smith, a weaponsmith, you know, someone who's very good at creating bows and arrows, and that gives you a reason to visit one town versus another. It looks like we may have a friend nearby, and Achilles is keeping a close eye on him with his hatchet there. There's been some fun on the alpha, let's put it that way. But that's just a quick look into the crafting. It's quite a deep system. I'm very excited to explore it more, and I'm very excited to work together with friends and trade with other cities. So crafting is very good. It's very in-depth, maybe slightly too in-depth for the majority of players. So I'd like to jump quickly to just talk about how the devs have been during this. Now, I've been playing many games now for many years, and I've been involved in quite a few alpha tests. I haven't really been involved in an alpha test like this. The servers have worked, the response has been quick, and I'm just going to show you a few bits here. Day 1, there was problems. Day 2, they were fixed. Day 3, there was problems. Day 4, there was a huge patch notes. And what's quite funny, actually, one of these patch notes, one of the patch notes, I just let them know, is I sound like I'm currently underwater, but I'm actually stood up on a hill. Feedback is this. You know, they've actually tweaked deliverable numbers based on sort of initial feedback from the community within the start of the alpha. Kind of going on from what I was just saying about crafting. Crafting does take time. Refining also takes time. They've tweaked this, even down to a funny one here where we were. This isn't necessarily us. I think this is everybody. But when you're doing the thatched roofing, you could only have a stack of 10 reeds. Now there is a stack of 30, and obviously doing a roof this big with low stacks was a very big job for us to get it done. But you know, absolutely pleasantly surprised with how quick they've been doing. If the servers go down, the server status is updated very quickly. The devs are very active in the Discord, and it's just genuinely been pleasantly surprising, to be honest. And yeah, I wish them all the luck with this, to be honest, because they seem like really good people. Very impressed on that side of things. So a little bit of feedback from me, really, and maybe some suggestions on what I think could make this game good. And I'm just going to reel them off because I've been thinking about them all week. Number 1, small but not too big Viking sort of longboats. Look at where we are now. We're at the top of this river. Imagine you could travel down river or up river in a small boat. It's not too obtrusive. Maybe 1 per clan, or you know, 1 per 10 people or something like that. I think that would be a wonderful addition to the game long term. Of course, mounts. Now, I think the traversal of the map is really good because it takes a lot of time. But for me, it's carrying gear, so your inventory space is very limited. Imagine if you had a horse or a cart where you could store items in there, store resources in there, go on a big long haul from one town to another. Definitely think the game deserves mounts and sort of a horse and cart carriage type system. Definitely important. One thing, of course, I absolutely love is good clan management systems. Something where you can really, I don't know, look after your members. We have a system in place at the moment, but it's just you kind of can see them, leave an announcement, and then, you know, invite and kick people, basically. Sort of, it does the job. Very simple, but maybe a slightly larger clan management system. Maybe I don't know at this point, to be honest, but I think it would evolve on from what we're talking about with plot systems and whatnot. You know, if I have a house with a door on it, let me lock that just to the clan, and just continue to evolve the way clans work together, function, maybe some sort of trade system within the clans. Who knows, but I'd love to see the clan side of things continuously evolve, and that goes for small 3 to 4 man clans all the way up to 15, 20, 100 player clans. And finally, I guess, you know, for me, the game in itself at the moment is absolutely beautiful. The building's good, the gameplay's nice, the armor's lovely. Just so far the game's just been super cool and very, very enjoyable. No matter how much I care about this right now and how fun it's been, this game will flop if the combat is bad. That's all there is to it. If the combat's bad, the game doesn't, in my opinion, the game doesn't exist in terms of a larger MMO where, you know, you're going to get the sort of player base that can really drive this game, you know. And of course, along with a good combat system, needs to be a very good content system. I say content system lightly, there's not such a thing, right? The game needs beautiful content. The game needs reasons for my whole clan and this whole clan here to visit a particular point in the wilds at the same particular time to kind of create that conflict, create that excitement, allow smaller clans to grief larger clans, you know, when they're out and about. Imagine a band of 30 people and you're just a solo player, one gets left behind, you can engage in combat and you know, smaller fights while people are just mining and things. The open world really needs reasons for you to visit, whether that's a full PvP map that just has some particular resources on, or whatever it may be. The game really just needs decent combat, decent content, and this is really this is a winner, man. This is a recipe for greatness, and I'm pleasantly surprised. For the size of the game, I have a relatively old PC at this point, and it's running like a diamond. It really, really is. Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of waffling at this point. If you made it this far, I appreciate you sort of checking out the video, checking out sort of my first impressions. I will be streaming it for the rest of the alpha, and fingers crossed I'll be in future alphas as well. I will do one more video at the end once we've sort of finished building. The last sort of couple of days, I'll try and get as many of us together as possible and do you a big tour of the base that the guys have been working really hard on. Would be cool if we could get sieged here with some PvP, but it is what it is. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please consider liking. I will do my best to keep pumping out some great Pax Dei content and MMO content in general. And yeah, I'll see you on the next video.